Top focus at 10:30 a.m. Pakistani-American terrorist David Headley is being cross-examined today in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack case. Public prosecutor Ujjwal Nikam said Headley's cross-examination will go on for 4 days. Abdul Wahab Khan, the lawyer of Abu Jundal, who is an alleged key plotter of the terror attack, is cross-examining Headley. Headley concluded his week-long deposition before the Mumbai Sessions Court through a video link from the United States on the 13th of February. Headley, who is serving a 35-year jail term in the United States, said in his deposition how Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI, provides financial, military and moral support to terror outfits Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Hizbul Mujahideen. Headley had also said that his handler was a person inside the Pakistani army. He also gave more information on how the LET planned and executed the 26/11 attacks. Let's now go across to Viren Gunawat, who joins us with all the latest. Viren, what's the latest on this cross-examination that is taking place?
It's still going on, Sankit. In fact, not that concrete information has been revealed by David Headley like before, but today what we have seen that he's trying to protect his wife, Sajia, and in fact, when the Wahab, the advocate of Jindal, he tried to cross-examine him. In fact, he asked some few questions related to his wife. He made it very clear that don't ask me any question related to wife. If you have anything about the in this case, you can ask me. But he admitted that he had discussed about his connection with LET and the other terrorist organization with his wife. So his wife was quite aware about his activities. That came very clearly in the cross-examination. Even he said that he made a statement saying Tawar Khan was not linked, or he was not associated with LET, and that is a bit surprising part, because still the examination is still going on with number of cross-examination from both the sides, from Wahab and as well as Nikam is also trying to put some queries before Headley. So it's still going on, and we are still expecting that something crucial element should come out from a Headley.
Viren Gunawat, many thanks for joining us. A day after the deadly terror attacks in Brussels, Federal Police has released a screenshot that shows the possible suspects of the deadly Brussels attack. According to the police, the two on the left wearing black jackets possibly committed the suicide attacks and blew themselves up, while the one on the extreme right with the black hat is believed to be the suspect who's on the run. Both men, who are believed to be suicide bombers, are seen pushing airport baggage trolleys, and both have one hand gloved. The third man in the image is wearing a hat, and the police have issued a wanted notice for him. Now, after 35 people were killed and over 200 injured in a series of explosions that ripped through Brussels airport and a metro train, security has been tightened across the jittery continent and transport links have paralyzed after the bombings. An army team blew up a suspect package found at the Brussels airport. Belgian police reportedly also found an Islamic State flag and a bomb while raiding a house in Brussels. German police also arrested 3 people in a car with a Belgian license plate near the border with Austria. They've launched an investigation into whether the 3 had planned to carry out an attack. Belgium has called for a national 3-day mourning for those killed in the attacks. Let's now cut across live to India Today's Lavina Tandon, who joins us live from Brussels. Morning, Lavina. What more details do you have at this moment? The latest on the attacks.
Morning. At this point in time, I have to say that I am at Place de la Bruche here in the center of Paris, where you can see at the back there are all candles, and there has been a vigil. It's very early hours in the morning, almost 6 o'clock, but still there are people here coming and putting candles. If one person I have seen who's not ready to talk is constantly crying. So there's a mood of mourning, and of course 3-day mourning has been declared as of now. There is a lot of police vigilance. I see a lot of patrolling happening here constantly of police cars coming and and going. Something that security agencies and investigating agencies are really focused on is the one person who is absconding, and also to find out if and what relationship there has been or is between Abe Salam and Saleh Abdul Salam, who was arrested, and if these people are from his cell. If they are from his cell, then big issues and questions will be raised on the security vigilance and the kind of security arrangements that Brussels has had since Paris attack, despite the fact that they have been on high alert. So that's one very strong line of investigation that is going on at this point in time. At the same time, across the borders, there are raids, there are police and intelligence being exchanged between the European countries as well as London to find out more about these cells and also about the sleeper cells that are expected to have woken up apparently with the arrest of Saleh Abdul Salam. Though ISIS has taken responsibility, still investigating agencies are trying to find out if that is the exact case. And ISIS has come and said that there's going to be something bigger in near future. So again, a lot of job and work for the investigating agencies across Europe, because they have almost declared war against Europe, and this is what Prime Minister of France has said, that this is a war against Europe, and it looks like that it is so.
That's right, Lavina. A state of war against the whole of Europe by the ISIS, and that is a matter of huge concern, not just for the authorities there in Brussels, in Belgium, but also the whole of Europe. Lavina, for the moment, would want you to concentrate more about the place where you are. What place is this? And if you could also please show us around, or tell your video journalists to show us around what exactly is happening. As you said, it's early hours, it's 6 a.m. there, and a lot of people gathered, some of them crying inconsolably.
Yes. Absolutely crying inconsolably. This is the place. If I can ask Ron, who is my camera person, to just take us around as I move to this place, Place de la Bruche. I might not be pronouncing it exactly, but you can see all over the grounds there are lots of things that are being written, and to basically show a lot of solidarity towards this entire incident that's happened. I feel a lot of, and everywhere there's vicious Brussels now. This is almost reminiscent of Paris. This is exactly what happened in Paris as well. Constantly, day in, day out, every day, which I see a sense of that is here in Brussels. And when I speak to people, they say that we of course are mourning, but we want to stand strong and tell everybody and all these risks that we are not going to be scared. Very soon we will be speaking to a few people, and we will get a sense of what they are feeling here. And what I sense is that even at 6 a.m. in the morning, it's freezing, it's really cold. But I didn't expect so many people to be here, but people are coming in and going and talking to each other, still leaving candles, still leaving flowers. So while there is a mood of mourning, there is a lot of sadness. At the same time, there is a lot of resilience as well in people to say that we are not going to bow down, because this entire act of terrorism that has happened, or that happens everywhere, and this is more to get publicity and more in crowded places, and they're not going to let them succeed and break. So Brussels apparently is going to come back slowly but steadily on its feet, and we might see more public transport coming back later in the day. And then, Ron, would you mind just giving some pictures across of those people sitting there, and if we can show this big placard around here on the floor, that's of cloth, which says Jesús Charlie, so Jesús Brussels, and lots of messages, lots and lots of flowers, candles. You can see still people. Now the day is coming up, there's more light now. It was very dark when we came here. Lots of hearts, people saying we stand together with you. A very solemn but very heartening as well, heartwarming in this freezing cold to see that the resilience of people is still alive, and they stand together in solidarity, shoulder to shoulder.
Absolutely. It's shocking as well as mind-numbing what one actually gets to see there after every such terror attack. But if you could, Lavina, tell us more about the investigations as far as this particular attack is concerned. What have the Belgium authorities been able to arrive at right now, particularly with respect to that picture that they've released of the three suspects?
Three suspects, of course, looking like any other passenger, which is quite scary. Once this picture was released, the taxi, the man who left them and in the taxi, who was the taxi man, came forward and gave his statement, and he said that he picked them up from the northeast of Brussels, and now that he looks and thinks in hindsight, he realizes that they were quite hesitant in letting them handle their two suitcases, probably carrying the suicide bomb. Also, when they came into the airport, all three of them came, one left, and apparently he left a bomb at the airport which did not go off, which was detonated, I suppose, or could not. It was unsuccessful bomb, thankfully. But the other two have blown themselves, and they were wearing a glove, white glove, in their hand, and possibly that was the trigger. Some people would say that why was that not spotted? Because there were not many security personnel around. That's another question that puts a lot of doubt on the kind of vigilance that's going on in Brussels. That will be, I think, coming to a lot of focus very soon. It was in the airport, yet not many security personnel were there. I have spoken to some people who were at the airport. There have been reports of even airline staff absconding, and many of them had to find their way out themselves into a hotel or somewhere. So somewhere I think there was manic and panic, and not a lot of assistance went their way as well. So investigating about, coming back to these three suspects, one of course is absconding, and a lot of raids across the border in Europe is also happening to find them exactly as to where he is. But because he's absconding, there is always fear that's looming large, and there is constantly another team focusing of investigation on if there could be any further attacks or explosions anywhere across.
That's very significant, Lavina, because in the past also we have seen in Paris, in France, when attacks took place, it was closely followed by another attack within a day or two. In this particular case also, the authorities can't leave anything to chance, of course, so they have to find where this third person has gone. What I'm meaning to ask you, Lavina, is that an airport usually across any country in the world is among the most highly secure, with a lot of security personnel and massive deployment of CCTV cameras. You think of any airport and you will think these three things. Was that not the same case in the case of Brussels airport?
Yes.
Can this footage not be used to establish where this person may have gone, the third one?
CCTV is one thing that has been that has helped finding out who these people are, and I'm sure the investigative agencies are looking at it. They won't tell us exactly and everything about how they are tracking, but they have tracked the CCTV, and whatever raids are happening is on the basis of that CCTV. We have to remember that one of the person had left quite early in the day, so that investigation is ongoing. Now I come to your next question about the security at the airport. There are two ways to look at it. This was departure and check-in. If you go to any airport, yes, there is a very strong CCTV. At Heathrow in London, there is very strong presence of police as well, but not everywhere. It's just some sort of a public place still. And one has to question, has to say, in fairness for the agencies here as well, how much security can you have and where all? Possibly the next step would be to do checks even at the departure lounges and arrival lounges. That might be the next step as a result of this security. But yes, having said that, there is a very strong case that there was not, some people say there were not even one or two security personnel present at that point in time to show or to guide them, and police only came later. So there is a lot that has to be investigated and looked into as far as the security is concerned. My observation also has been that when we look at UK, they have dealt with the IRA, and therefore they are far more vigilant, they're far more cautious. But having traveled and covered a lot of stories like this in EU, we have seen that they're not that cautious, or they're not that vigilant, and the security is not that strong. Even while coming here, I didn't feel that we were checked very constantly or in a very severe manner. And probably that's one thing that I have constantly been thinking, that though there is a war and everybody, the Prime Minister in one country or the other, and ICE is saying this is a war against Europe, one is saying we take it as a war against us, yet I don't think EU has totally understood the severity of this war and how much it can affect and to what extent it can affect and where all it can happen.
That's a very significant point that you're making, Lavina, that so far perhaps understanding the severity of this situation is something which the European Union countries are still coming to terms with. Maybe they've never experienced something like this in the past, something of this magnitude, of this scale. Do stay on with us, Lavina, as we play out in just a short moment from now. Pictures, the first pictures coming in this morning of the Brussels airport. This is a Reuters feed that is coming in. Those are the pictures on your screen right now. The first picture that we have got this morning at the Brussels airport. You can see that normally at this time of the day at the airports, airports usually are chock-a-block because most of the morning flights are supposed to leave and there is huge traffic. This road wears a deserted look. The airport wears a deserted look with a few street lights on. Remember, it's 6 a.m. right now in Brussels, as Lavina is reporting about all the latest. Lavina, more details about Brussels and their border. Have the borders been sealed? Is there checking that is taking place? What about the services at the airports? Has that resumed?
The main airport, the services have yet to resume, but the small airports around Brussels, there's not only one airport, this one, the one that was attacked was a big one. The small airports are slowly coming back to life. The train services we hear, especially the Eurostar, which is a very, very important service.
Okay, we seem to have lost that video link with Lavina Tandon. But thanks very much, Lavina, for getting us that comprehensive report from on the ground. India Today is in Brussels, and we'll get you all the latest updates as far as investigations are concerned, and also the security arrangements that have now been put in place as Europe is now coming to terms with what is happening to the various European nations and countries, and they're now figuring out that this is not an ordinary crime situation. This is not even an ordinary terror attack. This is of a magnitude where they have to be very, very serious in dealing with it. We're stopping for a short break here on First Up. News and updates continue on the other side, where this is going to remain our top focus.
Emergency services, metro stations, metro services have come to a standstill. The airport is now shut. Train services have come to a standstill. There's a lockdown across Brussels now, Simi.
Complete